Welcome to week 6. I just wanted to start out by saying I think all of y'all did an excellent job on your narrative projects. Excuse me. I have been enjoying grading them. I think I've got almost everyone's graded. If yours has not been graded, it should be graded in the next day or so. Just as a friendly reminder, you have 1 week to revise after I grade your paper. So if your paper was graded yesterday, then you have until a week after it's been graded to turn in. Now, what I do is I put notes on your papers using the markup feature in D2L. So all you have to do is click on the link for your document, and the little blue text boxes should pop up, so that way you can kind of see my comments. If for some crazy reason you can't see them, let me know and we'll work through that together. But what we're going to do is jump right into our next big thing, which is the interview project. This is one of my favorite projects. I always get some really, really cool things from students. And one of the reasons we do that is 1010 tends to focus on primary research. 1020 is a little bit more on secondary research. But interviews are often an overlooked source, and they can be used very effectively in research, especially if the interviewer can give thought-provoking questions and not be afraid of the process. So for this assignment, you're going to be constructing an interview and then using the information from the interview to construct a profile of the person that you're interviewing. So what I want you to do this week is just start thinking about someone you admire or want to learn something about. So this can be a teacher, coach. These are just some examples of what students have actually done. I've had people interview aunts, uncles, grandparents, siblings, which those are really kind of cool, because I've had a lot of students interview older siblings that have gone off to college and ask them what the whole college process is like, and they've gotten some really cool responses from that. If it's a grandparent, you might want to learn more about their childhood, how your grandparents met. If it's a parent or mentor, you might want to know why they picked their career. That's actually a really popular one. I've had a lot of students talk to the parents and go, "Hey, why did you go into teaching? Why did you go into finance? How did you get to where you are in your career?" Because, a lot of you right now are starting to think, what do I want to be when I grow up? I am 42 years old and I'm still asking myself that question. So it's a continuous process, I will tell you that. But it's just really, really fascinating to see how, a great example of this, where people think they're going to do one thing and they wind up doing something totally different. My younger brother has a degree in criminal justice. He has a theology degree. He went to seminary. A theology degree is like in between a master's and a doctorate. It's a lot of work. He is currently a financial planner. He has 0 degrees in finance. It was just that when he got out of college, he realized he had a real passion for it. And he's actually planning on using his seminary degree down the road. He wants to kind of work with missionaries and finance down the road. But right now, he went and got all these certifications and is a certified financial planner. So you just never know where you're going to wind up. So what you're going to do is you're going to contact them, explain them, and explain the assignment and why you chose them. Be sure to address any confidentiality issues. Be honest with them. This could be shared with a classmate and then I will see it, but it really won't go above and beyond that unless you give me permission. So agree upon an interview time and length, and an interview will take anywhere from 10 to 90 minutes. It just kind of depends on the situation. So and here's the thing, you can conduct the interview however you want to. I have had students just email the person that they're interviewing. It's like, "Hey, can I just email you this list of questions?" So that way you can kind of think over them and then respond whenever you're ready. Just make sure you kind of give them a time frame. I do an interview project in one of my lit classes, and one of the students that was interviewing someone kind of forgot to tell them, "Hey, this project's due in 3 weeks." And so the person thought that they had a lot longer to get the questions back to them. So, if you're doing it via email, just say, "Hey, here are the questions. I really need these back in 5 days." If you could, so that way I can get my assignment turned in on time. You can do it face to face, in person, over the phone, however you want to do it. If you don't do it via email, I do highly suggest that you use that lovely recording feature on your cell phones to possibly record the interview, just so that way you can go back and listen to the answers or at least take really, really, really good notes. So, what I want you to do is start by making a list of at least 10 questions. You can do more. They can be designed to get to know the person better. You want to make sure they're very open-ended questions, and I'm not going to go into it too much right now because that's actually your discussion board for this particular week. And by the way, little side note, guys, make sure that you are participating in discussions. Some of you have noticed have slacked off just a little bit on your peer replies. That is 40% of your discussion grade. If you don't fully participate in discussions, you could lose a letter grade by the end of the semester. So just make sure you're staying on top of those. So make sure you're asking open-ended questions. Some examples right there. I'll let you kind of read through those yourself. As always, do not push your interviewee to answer a question that they obviously do not feel comfortable answering or sharing. So if it seems like they don't like that line of questioning, then end it. Once you have constructed your interview, then you conducted your interview, then you can construct the profile. This does not have to be a formal paper, but it can be. I am leaving it open to whatever you would like to do. You can do a PowerPoint, Prezi, podcast, one-page, or infographic, video. If you do a podcast or video, it can't just be the interview. It needs to be something that you have created from the interview. If you feel more comfortable writing as a paper, you can do that. There's no word count for this particular paper. I'm just looking to see, did you ask the 10 questions and were they answered, and were you able to construct it in a good profile? There's no, needless to say, one page probably isn't going to suffice though. Excuse me. Sorry, I still have a little bit of a cough. In this profile, you will show who this person is based off of your interview and what you learned about them. There's a lot of creative freedom with this assignment. A lot of students don't like the idea of creative freedom. But for this assignment, it's really, really is more of a experience assignment. Experiencing interviewing someone, experiencing taking what you've interviewed and trying to construct it into something cool to share with people. I'm not grading this overly harsh. Again, I want you to feel comfortable, and I want it to be an experience. Not necessarily, this has to be perfect or I'm not going to make an A. That's not what I'm looking for here. I want you to be creative and have fun with it and relax. Because you might learn some just really, really awesome things about a person that you didn't know before. So, but I will be taking a look at it though to make sure that the grammar's there. You know, if you're making a ton of grammatical mistakes and it makes it kind of unreadable, then I'm definitely going to come back and say, you might want to revise this just a little bit. So it's not due until March 10th. One thing I did notice is that a lot of you come from different counties and school systems, and the spring breaks are not lining up. So I didn't really get a good idea of the makeup of the class until after the class started, and y'all were telling me where you're from. So right now, I'm also, just to let you know, I'm taking a look at the syllabus right now. I don't have the next couple of weeks loaded. And I am looking at the schedule to see how many of you are going to be on spring break when, and trying to figure out how to make it so none of you are having to do like an overly large amount of work on your spring breaks. Because I think those of you in Wilson County, your spring break's like 2 weeks before the students that are in Rutherford County. So be patient with me. I'm working on it this week because y'all deserve a spring break. It's getting towards the end of the school year. I know you're getting tired, and I am too. So yeah, I'm working on that right now, trying to formulate a plan to make sure that no one's got like an insane amount of work done during their spring break week. So if you have any questions, please let me know. This week is just all about primary sources and interviewing tips. I will be giving you some examples next week, so be on the lookout for those. But for this week, just concentrate on questions and who you want to interview. And as always, please let me know if you have any questions or concerns.